Yo, what's going on, boys? Charlie here with another video. This video is going to be more of me just yapping pretty much of the lessons I learned personally from my personal life and what I've done so far in my life and what I've learned from them, okay? Hopefully, this will help someone out there that's watching this, okay? I know some people is older than me, some people might be a year or two younger than me, some people might be the same age as me. And me speaking at 18 years old, I know that sounds really young, and I'm not, some millionaire making $20,000-$30,000 a month by any means. I'm not making 100K a month. Any of those crazy numbers, not yet. I will be, but I'm not there yet. Okay, but at my age, I also did take a lot of risk. I'm currently 18. Most kids my age are sitting in a college dorm, and they don't have any job. They don't have any money. They don't really have any skill sets, and they're just going to college every day, party on the weekends, maybe see their girlfriend every night, and just go to college, and that's it. Like, that's their life for the next 4 years. And for me personally, I've taken a risk. I pretty much said fuck off to college, and I'm not going. And here I am. I'm 18 years old, and this is this is my first year out of high school, and this is a year I should be sitting in a college dorm, and I'm not. I feel like for my age, I've kind of accomplished a decent amount for my age. Like, I've originally got into trading at 15 years old. I got into trading crypto at 15 years old. And I'm only telling you this, guys, so, like, you can see that, like, I've had actual experience. I'm not just some random 18-year-old kid that's just telling you what to do, right? All I want to do is tell you guys my personal experiences and what I've personally learned. So I first got into trading at 15 years old. I run a business that I own a detailing business. It's generating almost roughly 10K a month. I bought a Benz at 16 years old. I have thousands of dollars in investments. A couple. I don't keep as much thousands. I don't keep as much money liquid, right? But I keep a couple $1,000s liquid. But thousands of dollars in investments. And I'm sitting here at 18 years old, and with all of that stuff, I started my being an entrepreneur, I would say, within the last 2 years, 100%. I've always felt from an early young age that college was not for me. I always felt that way within my heart. I couldn't. I honest to God, I couldn't picture myself going to college and working. Like, getting a job after college and just working for someone else and getting paid a fixed amount of money per hour for realistically the rest of my life. I don't know why people are trying to come to terms with that. You genuinely get like one life, and you're put on this earth one time, and like that's what you want to do. Like, I really don't know. And some people, they're just content with that. They're content with going to work for someone else for 8 hours a day. And as long as, they got their weekends off and they can, party, drink some beer, and, that's pretty much it. That's your competition, guys. That's most people. If you're fine with that, then, fine, literally fine. But for me, I just can't imagine living that way. So, for me at 18, again, that's some things that I've kind of done. I've been trading for, multiple years. Pretty much everything I have, most of the stuff I have, I paid for myself. I work hard. Again, ran a business. I've had a job before, so I know what having a job is like. I've tried multiple other online businesses when I was like 15, 16, guys. I tried drop shipping, tried all these things, right? Personally, of course, obviously I failed with those. But if you're not failing, you're not trying, obviously. And the only way to learn any type of lessons is going to be from failing. So that's a little bit of background on myself, okay? And yeah, there's a lot of things that I learned. And the first thing I want to start off with, honestly, guys, is making your own money rather than working for someone else changes it. Honest to God, it changes something in your brain. It literally rewires something in your brain. And I can't explain it, okay? I truly can't explain it. Like, when you get a job, money feels fixed, right? It's your fixed income. You have to show up at this strict time every single day. and it's fixed. You don't make any more. It doesn't matter if you work harder for that day. Doesn't matter if you pretty much fuck off the whole day. You don't do anything. You get paid on a fixed amount. Doesn't matter if you try harder. Doesn't matter, all of these outside factors. You're getting paid a fixed head to toe income per week working for someone else. Okay. And that's what happens. But building income myself, it taught me one of two things. It taught me that even me personally, now owning a business, I go and work on this business, I'd say around the same time daily. Even though I'm going there at the same time every day, okay, rather than a job going there at the same time every day, me openly wanting to go work for myself, and it doesn't matter if maybe I'm 10, 15 minutes late, maybe I got to get gas in my car before I go, maybe I got to go do something. Going on your own terms, even if you're showing up at somewhere at the same time, usually every day, guys, it is so much more fulfilling. I can't explain it. I genuinely can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but when you have a job, let's say that starts at 10 a.m., okay? You have a job that starts at 10 a.m., and it's like you have to be there at 10 a.m. So, if there's something around the house you're trying to do, you got to finish something on the computer, you got to do something real quick before that 10 a.m., and just knowing in the bottom of your heart that you have to show up at 10 a.m. or, you're going to get yelled at, maybe you'll get fired, all this stuff, and you'll lose your job. You have to show up at that time. It drives you insane. It genuinely drives you insane. Whereas if you own your own thing, even if you show up at the same time every day, you have it in your mind, you're like, oh, I got to show up at this at the same time. You're building your self-discipline on yourself rather than just like listening to someone else and being programmed by someone else. I know that sounds like on a deep level, but realistically, it is. Showing up somewhere at the same time every day on your own terms, you're building discipline within yourself to show up somewhere you want to show up to make your own money every single day. Whereas being told you have to do this, being told you have to do this. And this person's going to be used to being told by other people's opinions, so they're going to, start to follow down that path, where this person is building their own discipline to, go do a certain thing and make their own money every single day. There's two different ways to it, and guys, you feel so much fulfilled when literally, even if you show up at the same time doing, on your own terms and showing up at the same time, but doing your own thing rather than going and doing it for someone else, it's so much fulfilling, I can't even explain it. And that discipline that you build on yourself, when no one's telling you to show up at a place at a certain time, you're doing it by yourself, that builds a level of discipline that affects a lot more than just whatever you're working on. That affects the gym. That affects, the shape you're getting in. That affects trading. Discipline in your outside life affects trading. So for me, that is one thing, honestly, that I think changed a lot is, I go show up at roughly the same time every day, and it ranges 20, 30 minutes a day, ranges around that time. And, some days I'll show up later, some days I'll show up earlier, but me showing up to work on my business, I don't know if I mentioned this, it's a detailing business. We do some work for some dealerships, some contracts for some dealerships, some normal clients, and all this stuff. Me showing up on my time, when I want to be there to do said car or do said task for my own good and my own reason to make my own money, guys, it fulfills you so much I can't even explain. I genuinely can't explain it. You have to experience this yourself, okay? That honestly, that's all I can say. You feel so much fulfilled and genuine and just happy for the day, waking up rather than knowing that, hey, I want to go do this at this time so I can make money, rather than I have to go do this at, this time. Even if like you're making the same amount of money, which if you own your own business, hopefully you should be making more than a job. But even if you're making the same amount of money purely off those two, it makes such a big difference. So another thing, guys, is when you build income yourself, you learn the skill of leverage and scalability, I should say, okay? So when you're working for someone else, again, I talked about this before, you're capped, right? Doesn't matter if you work hard for that day, you don't do shit for that day, whatever you do, you're capped at that amount. You're literally capped at that amount. Doesn't matter. Whereas me, personally, whatever endeavor, whatever skill set you're doing, guys, it could be an online business, it could be an in-person business, it could be sales, it could be whatever you're doing that you're making your own money. You realize the better you get at that skill set and the better you leverage that skill set, the more you can get paid within that time. If that makes sense to you. A job, you will never, ever, 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 ever have that. Doesn't matter if you work hard for the day, you don't work hard for the day, you'll never have that. Whereas someone building their own type of money, guys, I can leverage my skill. I can get better at my skill set every single day to then make more money quicker. And you're constantly scaling, and that's where the scalability comes in. You can literally scale. In 2 months, you might be making set amount of money, but 2 months later, maybe you got faster at your skill set. Maybe you know how to sell a lot better to a bunch of people, right? You get better, where you get faster, you get better to sell whatever, maybe you're doing. Maybe you're in a detailing business, maybe you're on, selling insurance. Whatever you're doing, you can scale that. And again, each day you're doing this, you're learning own lessons for yourself. If I would stay and work a job for someone else, I'm literally just a robot showing up there every single day, listening to someone else, getting paid a fixed amount of income. Whereas me, I'm disciplined enough to show up every single day, work for myself, get knowledge myself, use the leverage, and learn every single day to then make more money myself and scale that. That's something else that I honestly learned, is that you'll never learn anything learning for someone else. I honestly don't think so. I genuinely don't. I don't see it. And you can genuinely leverage whatever you're doing, whatever skill set you have, to then better yourself to make more money. Another thing that kind of ties into that, a little bit off topic, but I just want to say the sense of freedom is very addictive. Okay, having a job where you gotta put in vacation time, or you gotta make sure you can get time off. Whereas again, you're doing your own thing and you're like, cool, I worked really, really hard for this week. Next week I'm gonna go fuck off in Florida or something, or I'm gonna go to Miami, or I'm gonna go to a different country. I'm gonna do all these things because I don't really care. I need a vacation. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. And even better, if you have an online business, you can go take that laptop and go wherever you want. That is it's a side topic, but I just wanted to mention it really quick because that is, oh my gosh, it's literally, it's amazing. You feel like you have everything in your control, that you can go do what you want at any time you want, instead of listening to someone else and, being told, oh yeah, you can't take off this day. You can't have, you can't have off this day. You can't go do this. You can't live your life because you work for me. And that's just crazy to me. I don't know why people give up their whole entire life and give up their time to go and work for someone else and make a fixed amount of income. I guess it all comes down to risk. It genuinely comes down to risk. I mean, if you're not willing to risk it, I mean, I'm risking it. I'm sitting here at 18 years old again. I have no college plans. I have no job plans. I have no plans to work for anyone else. It's me. It's literally me and this fucking computer and the other businesses that I built, and my knowledge and my leverage of me learning every single day to make this shit work out. And that ties into the next thing. And the next thing is, no one is coming to save you. And no one coming to save you ties back into, there's no guaranteed paycheck. There's no professor telling you what to do. No boss telling you what to do, And it pretty much comes down to, if you don't execute and you don't show up every single day, then, you're going to lose. And that builds discipline in your life, and that builds maturity in your life. That allows you to really grow up really fast. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't mean to sit here and sound arrogant, but I feel like I have a lot more discipline and a lot more maturity than, people probably almost twice my age, realistically, honestly. If not, half twice my age, in their 20s. Honest to God, I feel like I have more maturity and discipline than some of those people, because I've been working for myself, and I've, been knowing that if I don't execute, I don't get paid from a very young age, because I wanted this life. I did not want to work for someone else. Honestly, that came from Andrew Tate. I'm not gonna lie, Andrew Tate, biggest fucking, that's the only dude that woke me up. That damn bald kickboxer, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I swear. And have your mixed opinions, but I mean, he's a dude that's telling you guys, you can sit here and watch these Instagram reels and see these people living this lavish life and all this stuff. If you don't really, if you work for someone and you go down the normal route that your parents are telling you to go down and your friends are telling you to go down, which is go to college, get a job, invest in your 401k, you're not going to achieve shit. You're genuinely not going to achieve shit. And, nothing's going to happen. No one's coming to save you. If you want that type of life, you have to work for yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, boys. I just wanted to quickly go over literally the very few lessons. I'll probably make a part 2 of this. But just a few lessons of just working for yourself instead of working for someone else. Whatever business you're in, whether you're in, I have an actual physical business. I have a skill set that I'm working on online. All of this stuff, guys, work for yourself. Genuinely work for yourself. I make my and when you trade, you should have you should have an outside income source. So you're not only relied on trading. And when you have that outside income source as making your own money that you can work your own times and surround that by trading, and that's what I'm doing, that it's a game changer, guys. It's a killer because you can work when you want. You learn all of these things within that business model and you learn that discipline. Then you can provide that and you can use that within trading. So that's just, quick. I just want to make a quick 10-minute, long video and tell you guys my thoughts and what I've learned owning my own business and running my own things rather than working for someone else, which is, mostly what people do my age. But I will definitely make a part 2 of this, and I'll go more in depth later on. But that is pretty much it for this one, boys. So see you on the next one. Peace.